debunk me, whatever. You can try to do that, but we're going to push forward. You know who I am. You know the content. You watch the interview. You know what's up because you are the London Real Army.
Step 1, create a name for your team. Brian Rose created London Real Army from the start. It's important to name your team because you want the people who are aligning with you to be branded. This is common in sports like Team Lakers, Team Celtics, and shitty romantic movies like Team Jacob or Team Edward. Step 2, create a cause against an enemy.
You can be that person if you want, or you can be the one who's up there fighting and bleeding and dying for the cause.
He inspired fear of being silenced or stopped. No one wants to be silenced or stopped, of course, and he was able to turn this fear into a cause that we can all agree with. He consistently used big tech companies as the enemy.
We want to use this momentum to start making a statement to YouTube, to Facebook, to Instagram, to LinkedIn.
He is very in touch with his audience, and he understands that there were already some angst and unease towards the way these huge tech companies operate.
And we want to say this: we will not be stopped, we will not be censored, and we will not be silenced.
These companies just wanted to avoid lawsuits, not silence Brian Rose. He's irrelevant to these CEOs, but Brian didn't need to worry about logic and discussion. Once you have a name for your team and a common enemy, you establish groupthink in a way that allows you to begin influencing people into certain behaviors. In order to raise $1 million, Brian Rose needed to establish steps 1 and 2 to begin his plan of asking for donations. Step 3, us versus them fight.
This is about us building something that we can use for the future.
One of the most psychologically powerful principles to humans. We will always align ourselves with our team and fight against any outside opposition. And the larger the opposition, the more willing we are to participate. The opposition is YouTube and social media companies. In order to fight, the London Real Army must get together and participate. Participating means donating, of course, but we'll get to that. His large following created social proof.
It was shut down, and it was shut down because it was so popular. And this is this weird conundrum that you got to get your head around.
Social proof is a powerful social psychological concept that influences us on how to act and think. When the initial donations began pouring in, many followers began donating simply because of herd mentality. If other followers of London Real are donating, then the next person should as well. By the end of the first phase of donating, Brian Rose had already established a very clear context for his followers. Either you are on our team and pro freedom of speech, or you are not on our team and do not support freedom of speech. If you are not on our team, then you must be a fan of large global elite CEOs taking away your freedom of speech. This creates a false dilemma fallacy where Brian presents two options as if they are the only two, but in reality there are many more options. But there's no need to analyze, his followers are in battle. Step 5, fear, emotion, motion. In this since deleted video discussing David Icke getting banned from YouTube, Brian says, if you don't get what I'm saying right now and this doesn't anger you, then your life is about to slowly end. Fear is one of the emotions that triggers immediate action. One way to create an instant movement or large following is to promote an enemy that is taking something away from you. Emphasis on taking something away. Think of the difference between disagreeing with someone giving you something versus disagreeing with someone who wants to take from you. Here's a real-world example. Think of a scenario where you are given a ticket for jaywalking. You'll be really upset and angry and not want to pay the fine. Now think of that same scenario, but instead of being given a ticket, the police give you an order taking away your ability to leave your house because of your jaywalking. Your fight against that order will be much more pronounced than paying off a ticket. Here are some common examples of having something taken away. Taking away your speech, taking away your guns, taking away your right to choose whether to keep a baby. Think of how people respond to these discussions, full of emotion and are very action-taking. Step 6, create a movement.
Thousands of people that are London Reelers that have now formed something we call the London Real Army, which is a group of London Reelers that believe in what we're doing. They believe in our causes.
With the motion created from step 5, he officially created a movement described as Fight for the Freedom of Free Speech. And the movement created momentum with every phase of his fundraiser. Step 7, immediate urgency.
And I said, what's more important for you? Isn't your freedom and freedom of speech and knowing the truth more important from you?
This is the most effective sales strategy in the world, if created organically. He does this excellently by presenting a future that looks very bleak if you don't act now.
I mean, the future Hunger Games reality sounds much more dire. Isn't it worth spending money for free speech so you can get the real message?
And if you're a part of the London Real Army, this statement really appeals to you. Urgency typically leads to action taking. When you want people to donate money, they need to feel like it's an urgent matter. Urgency creates action. In this case, urgency creates donations. Step 8, be involved with a polarizing scandal.
But it wasn't because of me, it was because of my guest, David Icke.
Humans are strongly drawn to drama, and Brian Rose took advantage of his 15 minutes of extreme fame.
And I brought him on because the last time I checked, as humans in this world, we have this little thing. In America, we call it the First Amendment, called freedom of speech.
His name and brand, London Real, were all over the news for a brief period of time, and the conflict aligned perfectly with his team's motives. The scandal of having David Icke's interview taken down was blown way out of proportion, but Brian Rose decided to double down when the iron was hot.
Funny enough, both of those human rights have been taken away today in the middle of a lockdown.
Notice how quickly he created the phases of fundraising with the creation of an app, a digital freedom platform, cryptocurrency, and a legal team to fight huge court cases. Within a week, he created a .com bubble startup. This is how you take advantage of having your name in the news properly if you want to raise money. Did you feel like he was asking for donations way before he had any plan of using the money? I did too, but that's irrelevant when the timing is right. Raise money now, figure out how to spend it later. Step 9, steady promotion and anticipation.
But we have to do it together. So I'm going to be probably sending out some emails and asking for your help.
While he had everyone's attention, he continually promoted this concept of a new platform where freedom of speech will prevail. This continued the hype for those who had already donated and helped reel in new followers of the cause.
If you can, go to our website and get on our list, hashtag London Real Army, because we're going to need everybody out there.
When you're in Brian Rose's shoes and your views exponentially increase in a matter of a week, you have to take advantage of constantly promoting so that all new followers of your channel will constantly be reminded of the fight.
On the front lines to promote this foreign concept, it seems, of freedom of speech and freedom of the press.
Step 10, call to action every single day.
And so if you want to become a founding member of the Digital Freedom Platform, then go to londonreal.tv/live. That's LIVE.
You've probably heard this before, but most sales take place on the 5th touch point or later. What Brian Rose did is essentially create a touch point for his customers, aka followers, every single day with all of his shirtless uploads. The constant reminder to help support the cause helped push more followers into donating money. I think this was a big reason why he was able to consistently hit new donation metrics. And if Brian Rose somehow finds a way to use all of this money for personal gain, then you know what will happen next. He'll have an entire Authentic or Charlatan episode on this fundraiser.